Jaya Kunja Bihari, Jaya Gopijana Balarama, Jaya Girivardhari, Jaya Gopijana Balarama, Jaya Girivardhari, Jaya Jashodanandana Jana Jashodanandana Jana Yamuna Tira Manachari, Yamuna Tira Manachari, Jaya Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunja Bihari, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Giridhari Radha Giridhari Radhe Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Gurudev 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Hare Krishna. I'm sharing the screen, reading from Srimad Prabhupada Lamrita and chapter 5, the war. That describing about the magazine that Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati was the editor, and also Abhay Charan De, as publication is also coming. So I will start from here. There are also 4 shorter essays by other contributors, including Bhakti Saranga Goswami, and advertisement on the back cover highlighted. Sorry, just would like to ask, it's visible?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay, thank you. An advertisement on the back cover highlighted Gita-Upanishad by Abhay Charan De, editor and founder, Back to Godhead, in 3 parts, 1,200 pages, royal size, first class Morocco binding, an elaborate exposition of the world famous Hindu philosophy, the Bhagavad Gita, in its true scientific theistic interpretations by the chain of disciplic succession from Sri Krishna, Brahma, Narad, Vyas, Madhavendra, Puri, Ishvara, Lord Chaitanya, Rupa Goswami, Jiva Goswami, Krishna, Das, Narottama, Vishwanath, Baladev, Jagannath, Thakur, Bhakti Vinod, Gaur Kishore, Thakur, Siddhanta Saraswati, down to the author with numerous illustrations in colors and plain from many authentic scriptures that we see. That's Guru Parampara, disciplic successions in our introduction, Bhagavad Gita. To be published shortly, customers booked in advance. Price Indian rupees 18 for an only £1, 10s. And the second major work, Lord Chaitanya, in 2 parts, totaling 1,000 pages. Neither of these manuscripts was actually near completion, but Abhay was expressing his eagerness to undertake such large works on behalf of his spiritual master. In attempting to print the second issue of Back to Godhead, Abhay encountered the same difficulty as before. Twice he requested permission to purchase newsprint, and twice the government denied his request. Paper was restricted on account of the war. On July 10, 1944, Abhay wrote a third letter. With due respect, I beg to submit that under the instruction of His Divine Grace Sri Srimad Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Maharaj, the spiritual head of the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, I had to start a paper under the caption Back to Godhead. The very name will suggests the intention of starting such a paper in the midst of heavy turmoil through which the world is now passing. A copy of the same booklet is sent herewith for your kind perusal. In the booklet, you shall find strong world opinions, even by many reputed politicians all over the world, in favor of such a movement to bring back the world into saintly by training the mind and educating human nature for the unshaking spiritual plan considered to be the supreme need of humankind. I hope you will kindly go through the paper by making some time, and I may draw your attention especially to the introductory portion. I'll finish here, and it's showing how our Srila Prabhupada Vaicharande is appealing to publish his magazine, and due to the crisis, but that time government is denying. Thank you. Stop sharing now. So starting with the invocation prayer, and all welcome in this Bhagavatam session, in the morning Bhagavat session. Please accept my respectful obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Narayanam namaskritya naranchaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam udirayet nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati ruttamaśloke bhaktir bhavati nashtaki. Mukham karati vachalam pangam langhayate girim yatkripa tamaham vande paramananda madhavam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Today I will be reading from Canto 4, chapter 20, and text number 11. I am sharing my screen now. Is it visible?
Yes, Mataji.
Thank you. I am just reading one time. Udasinam ibhadhaksham dribyo gena kriyatmanam kutastham atmanam yo vidapnoti sobhanam. Udasinam ibhadhaksham dribyo gena kriyatmanam kutastham atmanam jo vidapnoti sobhanam. Udasinam ibhadhyaksam dribyo gena kriyatmanam kutastham atmanam jo vidapnoti sobhanam. Hare Krishna. Anyone would like to try, please?
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavad Pranam, I am trying.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhu.
Udasinam ibhadhaksham drabya jnana priyatmanam kutastham atmanam yo vedapnoti shobhanam.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Mataji, go ahead.
Udasinamivardhaksham drabyo gena kriyatmanam kutasthamimamatmanam yo vedapnoti shobhanam.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you, Mataji. Would like to read synonyms and translation, Mataji?
Yes, Mataji. Udasinam, indifferent. Eva, simply. Adhyaksham, the superintendent. Drabyo, of the physical elements. Jnana, knowledge acquiring senses. Kriya, working senses. Atmanam, and of the mind. Kudastham, fixed. Imam, dish. Atmanam, soul. Ya, anyone who. Veda, knows. Apnoti, gets. Shovanam, all good fortune. The translation by Prabhupada ki joy. Anyone who knows that this material body, made of the 5 gross elements, the sense organs, the working senses, and the mind, is simply supervised by the fixed soul, is eligible to be liberated from material bondage.
Thank you, Mataji. Would like to read, anyone read purport?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Oh,
Yeah,
sorry, Prabhu, go ahead.
No, Mataji, please continue.
Thank you.
This verse describes how one can become liberated from material bondage. The first point is that one must know that the soul is different from his body. The soul is called Dehi, or one who possesses the body, and the material body is called Deha, or the embodiment of the soul. The soul is changing at every moment, but the body is changing at every moment, but the soul is fixed. Therefore, the soul is called Kutastam. The change of body is enacted by the reactions of the three modes of nature. One who has understood the fixed position of the soul should not be disturbed by the incoming and outgoing interactions of the modes of material nature in the form of happiness and distress. In Bhagavad Gita also, Lord Krishna recommends that since happiness and distress come and go due to the interaction of the modes of nature on the body, one should not be disturbed by such external movements. Even though one is sometimes absorbed in such external movements, he has to learn to tolerate them. The living entity should be always indifferent to the action and reaction of the external body. Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that the body, made of the gross physical elements, earth, water, fire, air, and sky, and the subtle elements, mind, intelligence, and ego, is completely different from the soul proper. One should therefore not be disturbed by the action and reaction of these 8 gross and subtle material elements. The practical process to attain this stage of indifference is to execute devotional service. Only one who constantly engages in devotional service 24 hours a day can be indifferent to the action and reaction of the external body. When a man is absorbed in a particular thought, he does not hear or see any external activities, even though they are enacted in his presence. Similarly, those who are fully absorbed in devotional service do not care what is going on with the external body. That status is called samadhi. One who is actually situated in samadhi is understood to be a first-class yogi.
Thank you, Mataji. This is very nice purport with the nice sloka and continuation of the yesterday's one that Vishnupati Mataji was telling about the how we'll overcome with this contamination, Vishuddha Shatta. So before the discussion, just I would like to take that blessings from all Vaishnavas and Guru Maharaj and Srila Prabhupada. Om Agyanang Timirang Thasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chaksurunmilitang Jena Tashmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Jena Bhutale Shayam Rupam Kadamayam Dadati Shapadantikam Vandehang Sri Gurung Sri Utapadakamalang Sri Gurung Vaishnavangsya Sri Rupam Shagrajatang Shagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Shajivam Sadvadhaitam Shavadhutam Parijana Shahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Krishna Padan Sahagana Lolita Sri Vishakhan Vitangscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Shute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhascha Kripa Sindhu Bhaye Vacha Patitanam Pavanebho Vaishnavebho Namo Namaha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Charu Swami Niti Namine Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunnavadi Paschatya Desha Tarini Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Brinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you, Sema Mataji, to giving me the opportunity to cleanse my heart. So today's verse, just I am reading again that translation. the translation is, anyone who knows that this material body made of the 5 gross elements, the senses, organs, the working senses and the mind is simply supervised by the fixed soul is eligible to be liberated from material bondage. So I can see from that some points, and especially Srila Prabhupada is describing about the devotee's qualities. How should the devotee for this chapter, and that is telling about the forgiveness. Please, for that Prabhupada is telling that Krishna is telling to King Prithu to forgive the Indra, and that distress will come. So we have to check our 26 qualities of Vaishnava. So we should not be Vishnu Bimukh. And yesterday's class that how we contaminated, actually we are from spiritual world. So today's point is actually it's giving that how one can become liberated from material bondage. How we can liberated from material bondage? Any idea? Any can give any comment for that? How we can become liberated from material bondage? Especially from this sloka, through knowledge of soul and body. So actually it is telling soul is eternal, kutastha, it's never changed. Body means deha and soul is dehi. And this body is made of gross elements and subtle elements. And we have to tolerate all changes. That changes happen with that. That material changes. And this is for the 8 gross elements I will discuss later on. So I made some that PowerPoint I would like to share with one. It will be easy for me and for you as well. Share screen. This is that the Lord Vishnu's appearance in the sacrificial arena of Maharaj Prithu. And this is the translation. Anyone who knows that this material body made of the 5 gross elements, the sense organs, the working senses, and the mind is simply supervised by the fixed soul, eligible to be liberated from material bondage. That I discussed that points I'm going to discuss. And this is the picture that Sri Vishnu is coming, Sri Krishna is coming, and with Indra, and Indra is asking for forgive, and King Prithu is forgiving that Indra. And that's those who tolerates, they are actually udasin, they are dhira, and they become free from material bondage and get samadhi. And I will discuss about what is soul and what is body. Do you have any comment about that difference between soul and body? And also when I am reading this chapter, actually I am just visualizing that Krishna is giving advice to Arjuna. When Krishna is giving the advice to Arjuna in the battlefield, that Krishna was sitting on the chariot. But here you will see how his Lord's, the feet is uplift above the ground. So how's the difference? No, it is only for the possible for the Lord. And here he came by the Garuda and he gave the advice to Prithu Maharaj about the how should be the devotee's quality. And the toleration about, I remember from the Sruti Krishna Prabhu's lecture from this 134. So we should not be angry, how to digest our angry mood. And whatever we do, we have to live upon the Lord. So just I would like to know, do you have any idea what is soul and what we can say, what is soul? What's the definition of soul? Any idea, any comment? What is soul? How we can say this is soul?
Soul is a part and parcel of Krishna. It's conscious.
Yes.
And yeah, that's and very minute.
Yes. Yeah. Any other comment, Prabhu?
And the qualities najayate mriyate vapadache. It shows that it cannot be cut by the weapons. It cannot be dried by the, fire cannot burn it. air cannot dry it and water cannot weight it. So it is so minute that it is beyond the conception, material conception.
Yeah.
And its size is also told it is 1 by 10,000 parts of the tip of a hair.
Yes.
That is another point.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhu. Yeah, it's so true. And that Bhagavad Gita chapter 2, it's described about the soul from Sloka 13 to 29. Yeah, I think, yeah. So yes, consciousness is eternal, and consciousness is the symptoms of the soul. This is the consciousness. Yeah, soul is eternal. And when soul takes shelter in the matter, then the matter develops. That not we can say my body is the combination of matter. If no soul is there, so it should be matter. The nature of the soul be always we are active. Without that soul, we cannot be active. Actually, our body is like a dead vehicle to be worked by the spirit soul, actually, which is always active and cannot stop even for a moment. And the soul is the source of all physical and mental energy. And this is the kutastha. This word is very important, and I will discuss about this point, that is imperishable, eternal, and also it called third eye. So I can go for the next slide. For that, I put that the difference between soul and body. Anyone would like to read? Is it visible?
Yeah, visible, Mataji.
Yeah, Prabhu, want to read? Please go ahead.
Thank you, Mataji. Difference between soul and body. Soul, Dehi, Bhagavad Gita 2.30, one who possesses the body. A body is called Deha. Soul is full of knowledge and consciousness. Consciousness is a symptom of the soul. Body minus consciousness is dead body. Want to continue, Mataji? Or?
Yes, please, yeah.
Okay. Soul, Kutastha, eternal. Bhagavad Gita 2.15, 2.20, 2.30. Spiritual, imperishable, indestructible. 2.17. Deathless, birthless, ever new, never destroyed. Soul is invisible, inconceivable, and immutable. Pure, cleanse, existent, spirit. Here we can.
Body is Deha. It's material or the embodiment of the soul. It's perishable and temporary. Body changes, it's temporary, which is reaction of material nature. Body is made of gross and subtle body. It's contaminated.
Yes, go ahead. Yeah.
And non-existent. Matter is non-existent. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you, Mataji. Yeah. Yes, body and soul. So sometimes the soul is called kutastha. That's I will be discussing. Because the body is subject to 6 kind of transformation that we know from the Bhagavad Gita. It takes its birth from the womb of the mother's body, remains for some time, grows, produces some effects, and gradually dwindles, and it last vanishes. But that soul, however, doesn't go through such changes. And it has been, I have been told that in the Bhagavad Gita, the 2:15 to 20 and 2:30, all describing about that. The soul is spiritual, imperishable, indestructible, and invisible, inconceivable, and immutable. And it is eternal. Whereas body is temporary, and body changes, and it is become contaminated, and it is means with matter. It is matter. And the soul actually, however, does not go through any changes. Only body goes. The soul is not born, but because he takes an immaterial body, the body takes its birth. And soul does not take birth there. And soul doesn't die. So a continuation for this soul, I'm going for my next slide, slide 3, is discussing about that, about the eternal, how soul is eternal. Bhagavad Gita 2:20, it has told, Ajo nitya shashyata ayam purano na hannate hannamani sharire. This is famous verse. Soul is never born, soul never dies, soul is eternal. He is not slain when the body is slain. Prabhupada has given the lecture for this on this one. And this is also one other one, that soul is eternal, and 228. There is nothing, no cause for lamentation, because soul will remain even the body is destroyed. There is no cause for lamentation. This is given the lecture in London, August 31, 1973. And Krishna is simply stressing on the point that the soul is eternal. It cannot be killed in so many ways. The body is perishable. This is also lecture for 21, Bombay, April 10, 1974. The soul is eternal. It doesn't die. It doesn't annihilate after destruction of the body, but there is change of body. Mrityu means body vanishes, but soul not. Even Melbourne, that Srila Prabhupada lecture, we found, as soon as body finished, all your asset finished. But if you become a devotee, your body may be finished, but soul is eternal. Sorry. Just drinking water. So this is all about the soul. That the soul is eternal. We always read that Nitya Shashvato Yam Na Hannate Hanna Manasharire. And actually we are, that Mataji told about that, that Uma Mataji, Dulce Sepa Mataji, we are so small. We are fragmental part of the Supreme Spirit. We are Onu, and the Krishna is Vibhu. Even same sloka, it has been discussed about that na jayate mriyate va kadachin. Katha Upanishad also, it has been told. So next slide, I will go about that, the slok. Soul changes body like body changes clothes. This is also famous verse. Anyone would like to read?
Hare Krishna, I am reading.
Yes.
So,
Sorry. Yeah.
The 2.22, soul changes body like body changes clothes. Vishamshi jirnani yatha vihaya navani grinnhati naro parani tata sharirani vihaya jirnani anyani samyati navani dehi. As a person puts on new garments, giving up old ones, the soul similarly accepts new material bodies, giving up the old and useless ones. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Yes. Changes many things, isn't it? That, like, garments. As a person puts new garment, today I put these garments, tomorrow I will buy another garments. When the garments is old, we give up. Means as a person puts on new garments, giving up old ones. The soul similarly accept new material bodies, giving up the old and useless one. When we become old, then that soul cannot stay. That body is really old. So that's give up. That's why he changes the another body. In our life, also in our day-to-day life, in our life, what we see that sorry, which appear the continuous changes of body from childhood to boyhood and from boyhood to youth, and again from youth to old age. That is had been discussed about the Bhagavad Gita 2.13. Even myself can change my name. My parents used to say something, and then that officially same name is mine, and that spiritual master gave me the another name. So my name can change. Also ambition. When I was young, my ambition was different, and now my ambition is different. So hobbies also changes. In the beginning, when I was young, I used to collect on the stamp, and now what we would like to collect, all some photos of our Guru Maharaj, and photos of Sri Radha Girdhari, all deities. We'd like to collect that all photos. And also, we know we change our house. Today we are here, tomorrow we'll be there. And So many changes. Age also change. Well, who doesn't change? Just I'm asking the audience.
The soul doesn't.
Yeah, soul is not changed. Soul is eternal. I was listening the lecture of Amok Leela Prabhu, and he was discussing about that like body and soul. And Jayapataka Swami went on print to print something, and there was one one person who is printing the question paper. Then Jayapataka Swami Maharaj is asking, so what's your question? Then that the teacher is telling, this I am putting the questions for the students, that what is your identification? Tomar porichoy ki? So then His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj is asking, so what should be the answer? Then teacher is telling, should be telling, I am from Bengal, I am from Bihar, and my father is that, my mother is that, all these things. So that Jayapataka Swami Maharaj is telling, how do you like that answer? I am not body, I am the spirit soul. I am Nitya Das. Then the teacher is telling, how it is absurd, the answer. It's not happen. It's not possible. So we see, the wrong answer, you will get the full marks. If you get the true answer, you will get the 0 marks. So this is our the material nature. So that's why we from we are getting this knowledge from this Bhagavad Gita, and for the mercy of the Srila Prabhupada. So also we see that Bhagavad Gita chapter 2:13. Deha asmin jatha dehe kaumarang jaubanam jara tatha dehantara praptir dhiras tatra namuhati. I'm going to next slides. Yeah, this is that one. How it's showing, the embodied soul continuously passes in this body from boyhood to youth to old age. The soul similarly passes into another body at death. A sober person is not bewildered by such a change. A sober person, but body it changes. So that sober person is not bewildered. This is the quality of devotees. So any man who has perfect knowledge of the constitution of the individual soul, the super soul and nature, both material and spiritual, is called hero. I will discuss about that later on. And actually, this type of man is never bewildered by the changes of bodies. Srila Prabhupada is giving the very nice lecture about this one, that how changes the body. And also is telling about the how soul and body, how we can explain nicely here. Means I am a soul present in this body, and this consciousness is the symptom. Means as soon as consciousness is removed, the body has no value. The spirit soul is within this body, means dehan asmin dehe. Asmin means this. Asmin this, and dehe means body. Dehi means soul. Dehe means is this body. So there is spirit soul who is called Dehi, and Dehi means one who holds this body. Srila Prabhupada is giving a very nice example about that dress, like coat, that's like my sari, the Jain shirt. I possesses this sari and this coat or then shirt, but not me, that I am the coat and the shirt and the sari, and this is my dress, but I am not this. But we used to say, this is my hand, this is my finger, and I am different, but I am within this dress, within my sari. Similarly, this body, this is gross, and this is actually coat, just like myself. When I put my dress, and like Srila Prabhupada is telling to his devotees, to his disciples, you have one underwear, shirt, and then over the shirt, and there is coat. So under the coat, this is that I means this is soul. That now I will go how this changes and why it changes. That Vishnupati was discussing about yesterday. We are spiritual. How we contaminated. That chapter 15 also told that shows the pictures adhomulam, urdhomulam, adhoshakham, ashatha prahurabhyam. So when we came in this material world, we contaminated with the three modes. So I will go for this for the material bondage, material manifestation in another slide. Here Krishna expanding himself into Vishnu forms in the course of manifesting the material nature. This material nature is the Krishna's expansion. Their gross body, there are actually 8 material elements: earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, and ego. This is the 5 gross elements and 3 finer, the subtle animals. The finer elements are just like mind. Every one of us knows that there is mind, but we cannot see it. So what is the mind is that everyone has his individuality, right? I am this, I am very learned, you are beautiful. Some are white, some are black, some are Indian, some are American. This is all called ego. Material senses can have experience of the grosser types of materials, not the subtler or finer types of material. So there are 3 types of material and 5 gross materials all together. It said, Bhumir aponayo, Bhumir upi anolo bayu, kham mano buddhi evo, bhinna me prakritir ashtadha. It's 7.4 still. This is the 8 elements. And it will be discussing in the next sloka very nicely. So I will not go in details. And actually, this is just I'm telling that finer elements that actually fire, we don't see directly. But when we feel warm, when we go to near the fire, then we understand it's a fire. Or if there is a heat. Similarly, we can experience the presence of the Lord by his different energies. Parasya Brahman, Shakti, Yathaiva Akhilam Jagat. It has been told in Vishnu Puran 1.20 to 52. This whole material manifestations, because we can see only material things, gross things, but we cannot see, but we can perceive, senses the finer materials. Actually, I don't know how means all devotees have experience about the glide scope. When we are in the young, that we used to see, I used to see the all smalls that put in that some small what called the glass, and used to see that colors. Some are orange, some are green. So we used to say, oh, so many beautiful colors. How it is happening? So this world is like that, and it is manifested by the Lord Vishnu. When the original personality of Godhead wishes to create the material world, he expands himself with 3 forms. One is Mahavishnu, which creates the innumerable universes. Garbhodakshi Vishnu enters its universe and creates all the planetary systems, and Sirodakshai Vishnu enters into hearts of all beings as well as into as the atom of universe. That is depicting here that Vishnu is expanding, he's laying down, and all universe are coming out from his pores. So all together that these 8 materials: earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, and false ego. So then this is all changes are coming, and so many material changes, material bondage, and today is something, body is changing. So how we will be bewildered? So what we will accept? Some material people, when we did not come into inner Krishna consciousness, also we are thinking how it is happening. Today is cold, tomorrow is hot, and how is nature is changing. Somebody is reacting some way, some other one is reacting other way. So many changes in our life. So that's we see in that Bhagavad Gita 2.14. That yesterday's also Bhars was telling about that. Matra sparshashtu kunteyo shitashna sukha dukhada agama paino nittas tam titiksa bharata. So Krishna is telling to Arjuna here, learn to tolerate. Nothing is permanent in this world. O son of Kunti, non-permanent appearance of happiness and distress and their disappearance in due course are like the appearance and disappearance of winter and summer seasons. They arise from sense perception, O son of Bharata, and one must learn to tolerate them without being disturbed. Okay. So we see how our Srila Prabhupada and how our Acharya is tolerating all these things. Just nothing is permanent in this world. We have to remember all these things. All this distress and happiness that we feel in this material world, this is due to skin, that the body. And due to this body, under certain circumstances, it feels pleasure, and under certain circumstances, it feels distress. The Srila Prabhupada is giving the very nice example, like is a water. This is summer season, we feel water is very nice and it's very pleasant, but same water in the winter season, it becomes pinching. So this is actually due for this body. So this we have to go through with this one, with the Vishuddha Buddhi, purified intelligence, and as per our Acharya's instruction. That also Srila Prabhupada is giving the lecture in that our Ekadasi day, how he was telling about that, how we can develop that Srinnatasha Katha Krishna, only Sravan, only listening, only hearing from the heart. So actually we have to also this sloka had been told, Udashin. Who is the Udashin? Who is not affected by that worldly nature that we found? Sripad Madhavacharya, he was a Vedantist. So someone came to tie his rope, but still he was doing the Harinam. Gaurakishore Das Babaji, he used to chanting in the toilet. So means because he used to avoid from the all people, because people used to come, used to tell, oh, give me blessings. But in our life, we see if come some mosquito, some fly, we so disturbed. But Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati used to chanting in the toilet. They are not affected by the disturbance of these all material things. Also, even Srila Prabhupada, he has having 3 heart attacks. And he got the 43 years failure, 1922, 1965. And he got that success, 12 years, 1965 to 77. So, but he is really Udasin. So that way we have to we have to follow the all Acharya's instruction, how and their life. And I also experienced how our Guru Maharaj was giving the lecture in the Tota Gopinath is 2017 for my second initiation, that His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj, when he was discussing that so many monkeys are coming down, but he's not disturbed, but we are seeing here and there, but he's not disturbed. So these are the qualities of devotees. That one more sloka, I am giving this one. So this is that. Learn to this one. The same type of, that's 270. Anyone would like to read this one?
Okay, Mataji, I am reading.
Yeah.
Puryamana pratishtam samudramapa pravishyanti yadvat tadvat kamayam pravishyanti sharpe
Oh, sorry.
shanti mapnoti no kamakami. Prikshmati.
Thank you, Prabhu. A person who is not disturbed by the incessant flow of desires that enter like rivers into the ocean, which is ever being filled but is always still, can all alone achieve peace, and not the man who strives to satisfy such desires. So we have to stable like the ocean. And also Srila Prabhupada is giving his quote, anyone who's steady in his determination for the advanced stage of spiritual realization and can equally tolerate the onslaughts, distress and happiness is certainly a person. So these are all things we have to take care in our spiritual life. And this way we can tolerate all these things. So means this, we seen that Dhiros would be like this. They are sober, no, not restless. So how we become a Dhiro and how we'll tolerate. So we have to take that, the process that Srila Prabhupada is giving. Srinnata Shakatha Krishna. And how we can do that. The process is Manmana Bhava Mad Bhakto. To whom to worship? He is telling, Mamekam Saranam Braja. So what should be the result? Nashta Prayasha Abhadreshu. After that, Brahmabhuta Prasannatma. Then we'll go for the Samadhi. This is the my that last slide. That Samadhi that we see the Srila Prabhupada when he's eating, when he's talking, he's in Samadhi. Samadhi means ecstasy, always in God consciousness. Samadhi means always remain thinking of Krishna. That's why Srila Prabhupada has telling in that 6.47 that Yoginam api sarvasya madgatantam atmanam, madgatantar atmanam. The yogi means they are always remaining in meditation of the Supreme Lord. Samadhi means not to deviate. The mind should always be absorbed in Krishna consciousness. And also will see that Krishna will only save me. Either in walking or sleep, a devotee of the Lord can never be free from thinking of Krishna's name, form, qualities, and pastimes. Thus, a devotee of Krishna can conquer both sleep and ignorance simply by thinking of Krishna constantly. This is called Krishna consciousness or Samadhi. In this way, that we can get Samadhi. That is that Srila Prabhupada has given that all instruction, and if we follow, we can do. Actually, today is also the Gadadhar Pandit's appearance day. That's just, I would like to give some little bit glimpse, 1 minute maybe. And this is I found from Giriraj Swami Maharaj's post that this is the auspicious day today, that from biography, the 1486 to 1534. Today is Gadadhar Pandit's appearance day. This is Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Lila 10:15. That states, Gadadhar Pandit is described as an incarnation of the pleasure potency of Sri Krishna. No one therefore can equal him. Srila Prabhupada's purport informs us in the Gaura Gano Desha Deepika 147153. It is stated Sri Krishna's pleasure potency, formerly known as Vrindavaneshwari, is now personified in the form of Gadadhar Pandit in the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sri Sharup Damodar Goswami has pointed out that in the shape of Lakshmi, the pleasure potency of Krishna, she was formerly very dear to the Lord as Sham Sundara Vallabha. The same Sham Sundara Vallabha is now present in Lord Chaitanya's pastime as Gadadhar Pandit. Formerly as Lalita Shakhi, she was always devoted to Srimati Radharani. Thus, Gadadhar Pandit is simultaneously an incarnation of Srimati Radharani and Lalita Shakhi. May Srila Gadadhar Pandit bless us all. In this way, I am finishing my discussion today. Thank you. If you have any comment, or please let me know. And if you have any questions, thank you. Thank you very much for listening.
Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you very much for the nice class, particularly bringing out the difference between the body and the soul, because in this material conception of life, most of the people consider themselves as the body is their identity, which is a devotee knows very well that this is not like anything changing in this material world. Everything is changing, and this body is also changing from birth to, or from childhood to youth, then old age, and then ultimately the body will go one day. But the true identity of an individual is his soul, and which never changes, and it remains every moment during the existence of the body, and the body exists, material body in our life, in other words, exists because of the presence of the soul. And in absence of the soul, it is just a dead body. It has no meaning, and everyone realizes after the death of a person that the body is useless at that time. But a devotee knows in the living condition also, he has got the real knowledge and knows what is the body and the soul, and that's why he takes advantage of the body to know his real identity, and that is as a part and parcel of the Lord, and he wants to serve the Lord, and knowing that that is the ultimate activity of a living human being. And in this way, he remains happy in this, by knowing the truth. He never disturbed by the outside so-called happiness and distress, and he remains dedicated to the Lord, and ultimately, while leaving this body, he goes back to the Godhead. So thank you very much, Mataji, for the very nice class.
Thank you, Prabhu. You summarized nicely. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yes. If any other no comments, then we can end here.
So Mataji, it appears there is no other question to
Yeah.
make, so we can
Yes.
close the class now.
Yeah.
Vancha
Thank you. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhu payevacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha ananta koti vaishnavrinda ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Thank you for listening me. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Sita Anandini Mataji ki jai.
Jai.
Hare Krishna. Prabhu.
Thank you, Mataji, for a lovely class. Hare Krishna.
Jai Srila Prabhupada. All glories to us.